Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Welcome to Team Angie. Just getting my praise on. I know they be tripping about the music. Sometimes they let it slide, sometimes they don't. But we're not going to be testing that theory today. Happy New Year. Glad that we all made it to 2026. And this will be the first day of the year, the first message of the year for the month of January. What I like to do is put out positive vibes into the universe, and by doing so, I read from my daily book of inspiration. 365 days of the year, written by Sarah Young, called Jesus Calling, enjoying peace in his presence. And this is the message for the month of January. I got a little intro. I never really read this, but we're not going to read it today, not right now. I want to show you guys what the message for the month is about January. For I know the plans I have for you, declare the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And that was inspired by the book. That is the book of Jeremiah, verse chapter chapter 29, verse 11. The Great Reset for the month of January, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. The Lord knows and has plans for us all. But this is the message for January the 1st, 2026. Happy New Year. May this be a prosperous year for you all. May you guys achieve all that you have, desires in your heart, your goals be accomplished. And may the Lord have peace and protection around you and your family as you battle through the trials and tribulations that we face as human beings, getting to one step to the next, achieving our goals, and so forth and so on. I'm on a current 90-day challenge of sobriety. Actually, I'm going to have to start over because I smoked a cigarette today. And that's going against my word, and my word has to be true. To be true to my word, I have to be true to myself. So I'm going to work on that, but I'm going to continuously do what I had set out to do, which is a goal from last year. Continuously working my my YouTube. I might slow down with Facebook. I might not even really post that much this year because I have other plans in mind, and yeah, change is inevitable. Come to me with a teachable spirit, eager to be changed. A close walk with me is a life of continual newness. Do not cling to old ways as you step into a new year. Instead, seek my face with an open mind, knowing that your journey with me involves being transformed by the renewing of your mind. As you focus your thoughts on me, be aware that I am fully attentive to you. I see you with a steady eye because my attention span is infinite. I know and understand you completely. My thoughts embrace you in everlasting love. I also know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Give yourself fully to this adventure of increasing attentiveness to my presence. And this was inspired by the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, and a book that we just read, which was Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. January the 1st. Sounds so sweet, sounds so nice, so easy. But the thing about it is it's a constant battle of the mind. People, places, things, they grab your attention. Sometimes the attention is a distraction. Sometimes the attention is uh pivot from one lane to the next as far as elevating in life. Sometimes you have to pivot, as far as a business owner and a parent or whatever the case may be in your life, right? You might have a system set up where the system is going smoothly, it works nice, but times change. As I say, change is inevitable. And with that being said, sometimes you have to learn how to adjust your situation, your systems. You have to adapt. You have to learn. And that's what this was about. It was about not being closed minded to being able to learn and being able to understand things. It's about having a teachable spirit. Um, Men perish for the lack of wisdom, and they lack wisdom because they don't have a teachable spirit. I had to learn how to be teachable myself. It's not an easy thing, especially when you are enlightened and you know things. That doesn't mean you know everything, and that's unwise to think that you know everything and not to be teachable. When I picked up digital marketing as an extension to Team Angie and Team Angie, in this consulting company, I wasn't teachable. And that's something that took me a couple months to learn how to become teachable. It also took me a couple months to learn that I was not teachable. You know, it was a hard lesson to learn, but nevertheless, it was achieved. And now I'm just a student of life. I'm always learning, I'm always open to new perspectives, to see the world differently, you know, because I don't know it all. And sometimes somebody else's view of life may help you up. The way that you live your life may add value to your life and situations and circumstances. Um, a lot of people, they get comfortable. I just put out a post as well about comfortability. We often be stuck in the chains of comfortability. That's why we can't reach higher heights, new terrain. You know, it's hard enough just being human, living, learning, adjusting, adapting to all type of things that goes on in this realm, in this world. But the beauty of it all is that we don't have to endure these things alone. I advocate for mental health awareness as well, so that you guys know that you have a place to talk about things that you feel, and that you know you don't have to suffer in silence. Emotional intelligence is something that we must be taught. It's something that we must learn if you're coachable enough to learn. It's a number one reason why a lot of people have mental health issues, because they're not coachable to learn. They don't want to learn. And this world is a trap to keep you mentally imprisoned by the things that keep you held down, as far as addictions. Uh, you know, addiction could be anything. It could be drugs, alcohol. It could be a liar. You're addicted to lying. You're addicted to stealing. You're addicted to gambling. You know, a lot of these things. So you're addicted to unhealthy way of life, eating, unprotected sex, or just being so adventurous and so impulsive that you go out on a limb and put yourself in harm's way, or you just have no discernment. This Holy Spirit is not with you, and it's not being able to hear God's calling. You could be a Christian and not have any discernment. And I will give you a prime example. When I lost my sister, and this is about discernment, and this is also about, you know, drifting away from the Holy Spirit. We are all vessels, willingly and unwillingly, readily to be used, you know, by the Holy Spirit or by whatever other spirit that roams this earth. And what I was saying was, when I lost my sister, I was angry with God. You know, it's just a natural reaction. But with that reaction and the way that I was feeling, my heart was being hardened at the same time, which is something I didn't know. And it's also something that I couldn't control. You know, when you're angry, you're angry. When you're happy, you're happy. It's just a vibe, a frequency, an energy that you experience until the energy form runs out. Speaking with my father about something similar to this, as far as energy, we just created something very special, very magical. He has a new book coming out, and it's available as well. We had started off reading his first book, but you know, it's for sale. The game is to be sold, not told, because a lot of you guys take information and you mess it up. Meaning, you don't have any knowledge on what to do with information and you give it to the wrong people. That's why you need discernment. You know, the Holy Spirit can tell you when you're giving your information away to the wrong person, and they're going to have to figure out how to compromise your plans. But anyway, like I was saying, me being mad at God that my sister passed away and all of that stuff, people will be like, "Oh, God bless you," or "May God heal you," or whatever they say about God. And my teeth will grin. Like, I don't want to hear that. Ish. You feel me? And it ain't that I was just wanting to do this. Just my heart was so hard, and it was basically pushing me away from Christ. Now, this everybody reacts totally different, right? You know, this is just my reaction. This is how I dealt with being angry with God, and the way that my heart was hardened to where I couldn't hear God for a while. And for a while, I mean for years, was just, you know, battling, because I love God, I know God, but at the same time, I was angry with Him, and my heart was covered from hearing Him speak to me, guide me, and love me. Not saying that he stopped doing it. It was just that, you know, I was so worldly sense of the worldly vibes, in the low vibration. Whenever I got this. Let me just pull it out, just to make perfect sense on how I think, so that y'all can see my mindset. Also, I've been giving me. I don't know where this stuff come from. I'm not a lawyer. I can't help you out. I can if I would get a compensated for my time, but other than that, I'm not viewing these cases. They sent me, and I have no issues with other denominations, nothing like that, right? A few I don't fool with, I don't deal with, whatever. That's my choice, my prerogative. But anyway, the Catholic Church, and I hate to even be bringing y'all up, but y'all put me in y'all business. They got, this was just like last year from Louisiana to New York. Let me just show y'all. These people filed bankruptcy, and they're in big trouble. I have thousand files like I'm a lawyer or I'm consulting them. They haven't paid for my services to consult them about this matter or issue. Look at these court documents. I don't want to put their information out there like that, but it's out there. It's in my hands now. And just so I don't get sued and stuff like that. United States Bankruptcy Court. I don't be on the internet just filling out for any and everything, right? So that's why I'm so clueless to why I have this and why they were sending me all of this information. It just shows I got a box. I didn't show y'all, but let me just show y'all. We're gonna get back to this message. Like, here go two big thick things. This, because what I'm trying to show y'all, I got all this stuff on top of it. This big box full of documents. I looked through the first little bit and I'm like, whoa, somebody's in trouble. But what does this have to do with me and Team Angie? I was thinking about calling the feds and letting them know I have some information that they might need, or I don't know. I don't want to be in the midst of this stuff. I don't want to be involved. But since I am, I'm going to figure out the best way to handle this situation. It's not my situation to handle anyway. I'm not filing for bankruptcy. I'm not a part of the Catholic churches. I know they've been going through a lot of kid cases and SA abuse cases. So maybe that's why they filed for bankruptcy, because they got to pay out a lot of people. The LDS, they might be next. I don't know if I might get y'all information, but hey, y'all better pipe down and start really, really. I mean, for real, questioning these groups that you guys are in, questioning the religions that you believe, because for you guys to not say anything, not saying that you know what's going on or not. I don't know your positions in those buildings, in those groups or organizations. But nevertheless, if you have a discerning spirit, like I was talking about, because this makes a lot of sense, you will be able to hear God's calling when you're in wrong, right? You will. And it takes a discerning mind, like, to be conscious of what you're thinking about, to be conscious of what you're getting into. And this is the problem when your heart's hardened from God. You're not conscious of these things because the world is what you're focusing on, and the world is what you become a part of. And this world is totally contradictory to Christ. It's kind of like in the Bible where it says the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. When you're angry with God, it's the total opposite. Your spirit is weak. You want to be close to God, but you're angry. And now you're not being able to hear God's voice. And your flesh is willing to do whatever the world is doing. Uh, well, I mean, that's kind of not the way. Your flesh will be like, I don't want to do this, whatever rule, but your heart, your spirit is so far gone from Christ. So you be conflicted until you finally, like, break free from that. You become conscious enough to know, like, my body, my spirit, I'm weak, I'm drained a lot of time, fatigue, a lot of physical signs to let you know that your spirit isn't being nourished. Uh, Hold on really quick. This is what I wanted to show y'all. Because I have just so much stuff. And I'm about to get back to, what I love to do, painting. I have a few canvases that I'm working on. It's snowing right now. It's been snowing for like the last 48 hours. Actually, it started snowing on December 26th. Light, but it hasn't stopped. This is my little binder where I write notes and stuff down. And I believe I shared this with you all before. I haven't been actively writing in it lately because I got so much other stuff that I'm doing. And also, I have an automated business where I don't have to physically write things down, but this is how I learn. This is how I take care of my mental health as well. It's a stress relief activity. It's pretty powerful. It's called journaling, but that's not what this is. These are my notes and stuff like this that I do draw. So yeah, this like how I doodle. You know what I'm saying? Doodle. I was about to draw something like this and paint it on those canvases or whatever, right? My information is kind of all everywhere. But look, this is the house of manifestation. Why it's important to be about vibes and stuff like that. Why do I talk about vibes all the time, right? You need to know where you are in life. This is called the house of manifestation. I learned this from uh you could say mental health, but mainly this what my program, what I offer you guys. Let me put the link below so you get your free blueprint copy and you can learn what I learned. You can learn together. But don't compare yourself to my learning journey because I started learning a little bit earlier. I'm a year and some change into this journey, digital marketing. In this program that I have available, links below. Grab your free blueprint copy. Live mentorship is what I'm talking about. It's what we offer 2 times a week. One for mindset and one for tech skills. And the mindset is where I get this type of information from. But it goes hand in hand with mental health. Anyway, vibes, right? Frequencies. What else y'all want to call it? Energy. It's all the same thing. You vibrating low, you're going to be experiencing anger, fear, doubt, lack, guilt, depression. I know it was a handful, right? But those are the 6 things that you can know when you're vibrating low, when your frequency isn't vibrating high enough to manifest things that you want to manifest in life. The only things that you manifest when you vibrate low like that is more anger, more fear, more doubt, more lack, more guilt, more depression. Now, combative to that, how do you change that? By being conscious, by knowing what you feel, how you feel, and why you feel what you feel. And to vibrate higher, you'll know because you're feeling happiness, confidence, trust, and faith. These things help you continuously to vibe in that energy field. When you have trust in yourself, you have faith to know that you are confident enough to make things happy to happen to keep you happy. Happy is a pursuit. It's something obtainable. It's not nothing you achieve, and it's that. Just like you achieve a new year in life, you adding up your life years. You achieve it one time, and that's it. That's all. It's kind of hard to explain this, but anyway, whatever, right? So, what do you do when you are feeling these things? Let me give you a little bit of advice. Let me give you a little help. So, when you lack, you need to focus on abundance. And these are things that I put, like, these are my signature moves to flip it. You got no transportation, you need to think about a car. No real estate investing or rental properties. These are my personal goals and dreams on why I'm in a lower vibrational state when it comes to my dreams and goals. But anyway, what you do is you combat those things. My writing is a little bit sloppy. I kind of hurried up and jotted things down. But like I was saying, when you're in those lows, all that you can manifest, and your heart becomes so hard that becomes your reality from time to time again. It's hard to break out of that. I got more things in here, but my hands are freezing. I do my little thing in the garage. So this is where I'm at. That's why you be seeing me with my coat and stuff on. It's not installation in here. But I love what I do and I do it for you all. I don't mind the little wind, the little heat, the little whatever the weather may be. Because it lets me know I'm alive. And what I do with my time and energy is really important. I spend my time complaining about the fucking weather. I'll be spending more time complaining about why my dreams and goals aren't completed. and that serves me no good at all. But yeah, they sent me all this stuff for whatever reason. I've been thinking about what to think about, what to do with this stuff. I don't know. May or may not do anything. May just leave it like that and know what I know about this situation. Um, this year I got a lot of goals and dreams. I really want to know what you guys are trying to manifest this year. A dream, a goal is just that until you decide to take action. And with that being said, some things happen sooner than you may even expect. You never know what your dreams and goals. I mean, you never know what your dreams may turn out to be as far as the reality, unless you start that mission. The marathon continues. Along this path, I've been receiving so much more than I ever thought. That's why I started this off with this verse and with this because it was so powerful. As you focus your thoughts on me, be aware that I am fully attentive to you. Do not cling to old ways as you step into a new year. Instead, seek my face with an open mind, knowing that your journey with me involves being transformed by the renewing of your mind. Um, it's pretty dope, man. Just thinking about some stuff, thinking about all of the new things that I received while doing digital marketing. And the only reason why I was doing digital marketing is to keep Team Angie afloat. Only reason I was keeping Team Angie afloat because I didn't know that I'll be able to start a company, run a company. These are my testimony about getting started, right? Not living in fear. Like I just showed you those vibrations. When I was living in fear, I wasn't able to accomplish these things. I wasn't able to manifest them because everything that I thought about was related to fear. If I spend my money on starting a company, how am I going to get through the winter? Different stuff like that, right? That would have held me back 3 years ago, September 22nd. As you know, how the season is here in America and the States. Big shout out to Bengal, India, Kolkata, Bengal. I said Bengal. Indonesia, Philippines, Ghana, Nigeria, Austria, Australia. Much love, peace and blessings from Team Angie. Bangladesh. But yeah, it's cold around this time. My birthday is in October, my son's birthday in October, and then we got the holidays, the end year times, the festivities as far as Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And all I had back then was my last check. My job was just over with. But I was moving with faith, which is a higher vibration, right? And moving with faith, which gave me more confidence and trust to keep doing what I was doing as far as getting this started. That's what Team Angie is now birthed because I was moving on a higher vibration, trusting in the thoughts that God was giving me, the renewing of my mind, which my mind has been renewing time and time again, as far as how I handle business, how I conduct business, and how I deal with people on the day to day. That's something I'm still being renewed in my mind. I have my ways. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, never that I never will be perfect. I'm not trying to be, but I'm trying to be the best version of me and for others. Not saying that I'm gonna be nice to everybody or hold everybody's hand through this journey. It is what it is, right? I'm protecting my peace, and by doing so, I can't fuck with everybody. I can't be engaging with everybody, and it just is what it is. Especially people who are not accountable, who don't want to work on themselves. I don't want to be involved with you guys anyway. Just being honest, this life is about constant change. You either change it for the better or the worse. There's no way around it. And for those of you who are conscious enough to even give yourself a chance to try, I want to deal with you. I'd be happy to help you and work with you. So the people that I'm pushing these videos out to, those of you who are looking for live mentorship, ways to earn online and or offline, because I have so many streams of income, and one of them that I really love is my stocks, investments. One thing about it, right? Anything or anybody, all entrepreneurs have in common is they have passion. passionate about the things that they're doing. They're persistent, whether they fail or not. That's why you know that they have passion, because usually when someone fails, they're done. That's it. They're on to the next bright big thing, right? But for those of you who have passion in what you do, it don't matter how many times you fail, you know without a doubt that this is something that's gonna bring you up. You know, it's a pedestal for you to step on. Whether you slip and fall or not, you're gonna continuously try. It's no different from those of you who know how to ride a bicycle. I'm pretty sure you fell off from time to time, or even rollerblades or ice skate. And yes, I know how to ice skate. I'm really good at that. I just don't do it all the time. I'm not that good at rollerblading, but I do know how to do it, which is kind of crazy. You'll think a black guy know how to roller skate better than the ice skate, but hey, this is what being black is about. It's about being who you are and being authentic. It's about changing the narrative of what people think about. You know, I don't partake and participate in all of this division in the world. Black lives matter, blue lives matter, yellow lives matter, all lives matter. Um, all lives not gonna speak on injustice either though. So you know that's why I don't get into all of that stuff. The Bible warns us about competing with each other anyway, because we're all God's children and God provides for all of us. When you compete with another person, that's just you saying, God, you're not providing for me, and I know you're not. So I need to go ahead and try to get what I can while I can. And what that does is it put you on the pedestal, it puts you in God's place. And it takes away you from receiving God's grace, God's mercy, and God's goodness. Like I just read in this book from Jeremiah 29:11. Um, I have plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Now, those are powerful words, very powerful, from Jeremiah 29:11. You know, we always think we know what's best for ourselves. We make plans, we have plans, but those always either here or there. They either work or they don't, because we don't put God in our business. We don't plan with God. We don't plan to have God in our business anyway. But He knows the plans that He has for us, the desires of the Lord. This is pretty dope, man. And I'm gonna leave that with that. But the marathon continues. It only continues for those of you who get started. You know, you could continuously engage in these things that keep you procrastinating, like cigarettes, like it's a lot of different things, and we're not gonna get into that in this short clip. But it's more so about just getting started. You know, becoming the person that you desire to be, and not sitting around wishing and hoping that one day things will get better or things are finally working in your favor. Just here to let you know that we are more than conquerors through Christ who strengthens us, who has plans for us to be prosperous. So I just encourage you all to really take this serious and, start manifesting the things that you really desire. Like these past couple days, got money in my pocket right now, got money on my accounts. Money isn't everything, but it's a tool to use, just like food and water. And the way that you use these tools, the way that you get blessed with these tools, you use them to bless others. And the way that I've been doing so, I've been sharing the links, I've been sharing information, but it's up to you to take action, and capitalize. It's the only way that it's going to happen. You know, you can have a job, but you won't capitalize on how much money you can make if you're not showing up. And the difference between an entrepreneur, you don't get paid for cleaning your desk, you don't get paid for making phone calls, you get paid for money making activities. And therefore, if you're not doing money making activities, you're not showing up for yourself. So that's what part of being accountable is about, and part of being coachable is about. Having a coachable spirit, so that the spirit of God can guide you to these things that you desire, because He knows you want them anyway, and He's trying to help you get it. Like with this, all of this stuff that's coming is more than I could imagine. It's more than I asked for, but I'm learning how to handle and maintain my situations, and that's what this year is about: maintaining my blessings, continuously being grateful for them, so that I continue to receive more things. How these things been coming to me is not by force, it's not by chance, it's never ever by luck. It's by trusting God's plan for my life, the visions that He gives to me. Because what's crazy is this, and I'm gonna give you guys a secret. And I just heard this the other day, but I never really thought about it this way. We think the thoughts of God, that's after He think them and He gives them to us. And He's like, yo, go walk down to the store and whatever, whatever. Then you up to the store and you meet somebody who's in position to put you in the position that you desire to be in. Now you could call it a miracle, you could call it a coincidence, you can call it luck, you could call it whatever. But this is actually called God's divine guidance, being guided through the Holy Spirit to get the fullness thereof of this earth that He has for you until the time is up, and then we'll go doing other missions in other physical forms or energetic forms or whatever form that we may become after this body is done and over with. So, with that being said, I just encourage you all to follow your dreams. Let this year be a special one for you, and let these miracles take place in your life. Start resisting what God has for you. And it's time to start being happy, living with purpose. A lot of people have no purpose in life. They're here, they're there, they're gone, whatever. That's what we're leaving in 2025. People unaccountable, 2025. Girls out here that's fake and they want something real, 2025. Guys out here that's down low that they'll think the females know, 2025. A lot of ish that I'm not partaking in and I'm not bringing into this new year. So it is what it is, right? Some stuff you gotta just put down. When you're a child, you think as a child, you act like a child. That, but when you become an adult, you put those childish things down. Unless you want to continuously be treated like a child. Peace and blessings from Team Angie. Happy Monday. No, it's not Monday. It's it's Thursday. I just got steak and rewards as well. I'm ready for Monday, right? This week is weird. I hate new months, new weeks. Well, it's not a new week yet, but it's a new month, a new year, which usually be like a new month, a new week type ish. But it's just weird. We starting off in the middle of the week. I don't know. I'm kind of thrown off. My circadian rhythm is kind of off balance. I'm thinking about Monday. I'm ready for Monday. I feel like to get the whole world to wake up. Right now, I feel like the world is dead and just in silence and just whatever. It's kind of weird this time around. The new year starts when the world is kind of like rebirthing itself. All things are dead. You see no leaves on the trees. The grass is covered up, which it'll become muddied and dirt and dark. You know what it look like. For those of you who experience a real winter during the winter time, the solstice, right? And it can give you a little doubt. It can bring you a little gloom into your life. It's unmotivated to be cold and to be gloomy like this all the time. The sun barely can shine because they keep on spraying the clouds. I don't know, man. But one other thing too, make sure y'all detox. Make sure you detox when you go outside and you come back in and different stuff like that. When you're breathing in this fog, you need to get this stuff about your body. When you eating all this restaurant food and all of this stuff with like 20,000 ingredients in it, detox. I got videos on my subscription page, Team Angie. You want to check that out? Plenty of videos, plenty of value, but it's not free. I think I have a discount going on right now for the new subscribers, for subscribers, period. But if you want that, I have exclusive content on my Facebook. But nevertheless, if you want to start making money online with Live Mentorship, this is your free blueprint copy right here if you want to get started. Peace and blessings and happy Thursday. Today I just got paid from different cryptos that I'm staking. So it's kind of like a savings account for crypto. And I'll show